If you're a mom, you're a superhero. That's right. Own it. We possess a unique superpower of intuition, a sixth sense for what our kids are up to, how they feel, what they want, and when they want it. Yep, it's amazing. I call this mom sense. Oftentimes, we are Googling for answers, joining Facebook groups, or relegating to taking unsolicited advice from our friends when all we have to do is listen to that voice inside us. No, not the one that's telling you you're fat. The other voice, the one that seems to know everything when it comes to your kids and leaves you feeling confident, empowered, purposeful, and all things #mom goals. Hi, I'm Kanika Chadda Gupta, and I'm a mother of twin toddlers and a baby, double the fun plus one. And I can honestly say that now that I'm a mom, I feel like my life is just getting started. On my podcast, I interview industry experts and real-life mamas on their mom sense experiences, tackling topics like how to teach kids to meditate, what it takes to have the marriage you've always dreamed of, and how to master your car makeup routine. Grab your latte, that's probably ice cold by now, and take a listen to That's Total Mom Sense. As the adage goes, 9 months on, 9 months off. For a woman, when we put on the baby weight, it takes about 9 months, and it takes about 9 months to lose the baby weight. But for many of us, it's not that simple. And imagine having the added pressure of being in the spotlight on TV, where a camera sadly adds 10 pounds, all while juggling life with a new baby. And this is someone who has done it all and more, Mara Shiavocampo. She is a 4-time Emmy-winning journalist, a chart-topping podcast host, and a best-selling author of her book, Thinspired, which is a weight loss memoir of how she lost 90 pounds after her first baby. She's here to tell us her story and give us some tips along the way. Mara, thank you so much for being on That's Total Mom Sense.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
It is such a treat.
Thank you.
So tell us a little bit about who Mara is and your childhood.
That's such a layered question. So I'm originally from Maryland. That's where I grew up, right outside of DC. My father worked for the World Bank. My mother was a professor. And because of my father's job, we traveled a lot. And we lived overseas. And we weren't living in, we were living in developing nations. And so, they weren't, it wasn't like we were living in Paris, we lived in Somalia. Before I was born, my parents spent some time in the South Pacific. The youngest of 3. I'm the baby.
Yeah.
And, it was just always there was always an adventure. I grew up with all these adventures without really knowing that I was having a unique experience. I remember I would go like warthog hunting in East Africa with my dad when I was 6 years old. And we had to get up at 5 a.m. and I remember watching them butcher the warthog in the field. And these were, I remember seeing my dad's friends shoot antelopes. And these were, and I'm such a huge animal lover, so I'm not into hunting today, but it was just part of my upbringing, and I didn't really realize how unique that was until much later. But it always gave me this thirst for adventure. So I said yes to pretty much everything. I just want to drink life,
Yeah, absolutely. That's so cool. And tell us about your last name, Shiavocampo.
Shiavocampo,
it's Italian.
Yes, it's Italian. So my father is first generation from Sicily, and he met my mother here, and they're an interracial couple. So my father is Italian, white, European. My mother's African American, and they met and started dating in the late 60s. They just celebrated their 50th wedding anniversary.
Good for them. Oh my goodness, congratulations.
And they were, they met in Boston, which is not the most racially sensitive city in the country.
Yeah.
And so, they went through it, but they went through it and made it through. So they're such a colorful couple. They love hard, they fight hard. Sicilian and a black woman. There's fireworks there, boy.
Good and bad. I love it.
Right.
Oh, that's great. But did you feel growing up with a family like that and that kind of foundation when you were living all over the world, what was it like?
The thing with kids is that they don't know what's unique or unusual because that's all they know. So what's funny is that, the things that I remember about that time is that I was always annoyed that we were traveling.
Right.
You know, I wanted, like, we traveled like every break. If there was a, you know, Christmas break, summer, we were always traveling. And I remember always being annoyed. I wanted to be home with my friends, or to, you know, when you're living abroad, you can't get like candy. Like that, those are the things a 7-year-old remembers. It's like, I can't buy Now and Laters here. They don't sell them. You know, I can't watch the TV shows I like.
Right.
So those are the things that I remember, like airplanes making me plane sick, you know, those kinds of things. But there were all these much more profound life lessons that I was kind of getting through osmosis that revealed themselves to me later in life. So I'm incredibly tolerant. Like, one thing that was clear to me always is that we're all way more alike than we are different.
Yes.
Way more alike than we are
absolutely.
different. We all want the same things.
It's true.
And that just, I kind of always had that because I always saw that. So the things that a lot of people, like, I feel like we're in an age of tolerance, which is really beautiful. In some ways we're in an age of tolerance, in some ways it's the exact opposite. But in terms of like understanding gender fluidity or, you know, all of these things, that tolerance was always in me. And I feel like it's because of, you know, the things I saw and the people I interacted with. And
absolutely. Wow. That's really amazing. So why journalism? Why did you go into that field and that path?
I wanted a career where I could write and where I could travel. And when I looked around and tried to figure out, okay, where do those two things intersect? It was journalism.
Oh, that's
it was,
so great.
You know, it was clear as day.
So I feel like we have a few parallels. I also come from a TV broadcast background. I was with CNN in India, and when I moved to New York in 2011, at that time I was looking to transfer to work for the CNN here, and I remember meeting with the bureau chief, and he was like, you know what, we're doing a round of layoffs soon, so there are no jobs. I stayed with some cable networks and then eventually switched gears and started my own company, and I'm happier for it. You know, it's like, in retrospect, I'm very glad that I made the decisions that I did, but I've seen that grind, and you are one person who has made it to the top. You know, you're working in New York, the #1 network in the States, and it's like, it's incredible that you reached that. So tell us about that journey.
You know, things always look different from the inside, and they always feel very different from the inside. So from my perspective, it's always been like head down, on the grind, get the work done. And, you know, I've been driven very much by the work. So you know, when I hear people introduce me, like 4-time Emmys, and like that hasn't been my internal experience. You know, my internal experience has been like working like a dog. And I mean, that's just what it is. Like, it's not glamorous. It's not sexy. It's work. And so if you don't love the work, like, people don't realize, like, when you're watching somebody live on television at 7 a.m. and they're in a different time zone, it may be 2 a.m. where they are. And they're in the cold, in the dark, in the middle of nowhere where like some bear attack happened, right? And like, I had to get up at midnight and like put lashes on, and like people, like, it's a grind. It's a grind. And then when that live shot is done, you're on an airplane and you're going to the next place and the next thing. So that's been my focus, really, is just the grind.
And how has that changed you? I mean, now you're a mom of 2, so you've dealt with that challenge, and now you've taken on a new one. What's that like?
I mean, I feel like it really prepared me very well for parenthood, because, you know, when you're flying by the seat of your pants for 15 years, and it's also like, it's a physical job. Like, you know, you're helping cameramen carry gear, and you're, you know, traveling a lot, which is very, like, it takes a physical toll on you. So those things actually really prepared me, you know, very little sleep and working under pressure. And so I kind of, like, it's hard to phase me. Like, you know,
that's great.
You know, a kid like throws up on the floor or all over me or in an Uber. It's like, all right, like, let's like clean it up and on to the next thing. Like, it's just,
good for you.
Keep it moving.
Right. Yeah, you've seen it all, and so you just roll with the punches.
Like, I've put makeup on in the middle of a hurricane. Like, I've just can I curse?
Yes.
Like, the shit that I've had to do for work. You know, like, I've been in the Congo for 5 days without a shower. Like, you know,
Oh my gosh.
Dealing with the toddler is kind of like quaint and fun in comparison.
Yeah. They have their moments where they're so sweet.
They're
you know?
so cute.
Yeah.
I always say, if they weren't so cute, they'd be homeless. Like, the reason they're so cute is so that they can continue to have parents.
Exactly. But then there's this narcissistic element too, right? Where like, I mean, my husband, our third child, he just sits and admires him because he's a replica.
Right.
And it's like, this is just narcissism right now, you know? Like,
you get to see
yes,
like
he's
fresh,
cute, but come on.
clean version of you.
Yeah.
No, they're so adorable.
Yes,
they're so adorable.
They really just surprise you, and I mean, they're the most innocent, loving. They bring out so many different emotions in you that you didn't know you had. Like that much love that you didn't know you had.
Yeah, and
you know?
it's a love without ego. It's a very selfless, pure love. It kind of, and it recalibrates everything else. Because once you know that, you see your deficiencies in the way you love other people.
Yes, it's true. It's true. When it's conditional or complicated.
Right.
Absolutely. So tell us about your motherhood experience.
Yeah, it's been interesting because, you know, I think we all have this perception that you have this natural instinct, and as soon as you find out you're pregnant or you have a baby, you're a mom.
Right.
And I guess technically that's true, right? But my experience in having my first child was that I was a woman who had a baby.
Yeah.
I didn't feel like a mother for probably like 18 months, like to 2 years.
Wow.
Like that beginning phase for me was really tricky because I did not feel instantly connected to my child. And I was not instantly selfless. Like, you know, if I saw a booger, I still was like, ew. You know, like now, like with my son, like I'll just pick it up with my hand and like flick it away, right?
Exactly.
Like there's no grossness. Like I would suck the snot out of his nose. Like all of that stuff is gone.
Nose feed of that shit.
But it didn't exactly. When I first time I saw nose feed, I was like, are you kidding?
It's disgusting.
I'm supposed to suck the snot out with
so
my
effective,
mouth?
but
so effective.
Yeah.
You know, like it's a job done. So that was a transformation that took time.
Yeah.
And the distinction was so clear when I had my son. You know, I had now been a mother for 4 years. So the moment he was born, like I bonded with him and I was on it immediately. And like 2 days, you know, he was like 2 days old and my husband said like, God, you're so different with this one. And I said, it's because he was born to a mother.
Oh, wow.
Like my daughter was born to like some lady who had a baby who did not know the first thing about what that meant.
Right.
He was born to a mother.
Wow.
So the connection was totally different.
Yeah.
And so that was really very revelatory for me, is that like you have to kind of come into that role.
Yes, absolutely. That's so honest of you to share. And I think that as women, it's kind of thrust upon us that like, okay, you get married and you become a mom, you know, and you're just going through the motions. Right. But what about the arc and, you know, the feelings you face as you're going through it? It just, like one day you're in the hospital, you know, pregnant, and then the other day it's like you have this third person, and it's for life.
Right.
You know? You created this human that's going to be with you forever.
Right.
So yeah, it's really
what
transformative.
What was like jarring to me as well is that like the moment that baby pops out, like all the love that society has for pregnant ladies, like it's gone in an instant. Like nobody's offering you their seat on the subway.
Nope.
I needed the seat more after I'd had the baby than before. Like then your body is like wrecked and you're like bleeding and like your nipples are bleeding. It's like a disaster. Right? That's when I needed to sit.
Yes.
But the moment that baby's out, it's like, oh no, sister, you're on your own.
Yeah, exactly. It's not about you anymore. That's the unfortunate truth. Very, very true. So how did you get through those tough times?
You know, I didn't consider them to be tough in the moment. In hindsight, I see how I was really struggling with my identity and with kind of taking on a new role and being comfortable in that role, and also learning how to be a parent. Like you learn, unfortunately, it's like, you know, you learn by making mistakes. And so like, this is kind of a funny example, but I remember once packing for a trip with my daughter and I was packing the baby soap. And I was like, they have soap at hotels. Why am I gonna bring baby soap? Right. And then I'm giving her a bath and she starts screaming and she's like, my eyes. And I was like, oh, fuck. Yeah, I was like, this is why we need baby soap. I was like, because she got regular soap in her eyes.
True. Yeah.
So, like, it's just things like that where, like, you learn.
Yeah. It's true. Oh, my gosh. Packing for kids, too.
Oh, it's the worst.
It's everything under the sun because, these things happen.
It's the worst.
So then tell us about, like, weight and the issues around that.
Yeah.
I think that's something that all women face. You can think back to, our adolescence, or even before that, tween days, where we just think about weight, obsess about weight.
Well, it's such a kind of an unfair paradox that women are expected to keep their same weight through pretty much from their teenage years through death, right? When you have all these childbearing years that your body, so much is demanded of your body. But the expectations don't make any room for that, right? There's no allowance for what you're going through during those years. You're just expected to still adhere to the same standards.
Right.
And it's really, really, really unfair.
Impossible.
It's unfair, and it's a really high standard.
Yeah.
But a lot of us still, for better or for worse, want to meet that standard.
Right.
And so I try not to be judgmental of women who are like, no, I want to lose the baby weight right away. Ideally, we'd be in a situation where people would give themselves a year, 2 years, and feel great about that journey. But that's not always reality.
Yeah.
And so I feel like we have to have these conversations based on what's real, right? Because I met a woman, I was shopping, I was at the register, she had her baby with her, the baby was tiny, and I was talking to her about the baby, and she was buying jeans, and she starts crying at the register, and she was like, I thought I'd be in my regular clothes by now.
Yeah.
And so that's real. So let's have the conversation based on that reality.
Yeah.
So the reality is, if you do want to, quote unquote, snap back very quickly, it takes a tremendous amount of work.
Right.
Tremendous.
Yeah.
Because at the same time, you're caring for this new baby.
It's true.
And especially if you're breastfeeding, which people say, it helps you lose weight.
Yeah.
It makes everything harder.
Yeah. It totally does. It's yes, your uterus is shrinking, but your caloric intake is increasing because you really are feeding too now.
Right. Yeah.
And in order to have thick, frothy milk, you gotta eat more calories.
Yeah, and you see it right away. When you start to cut calories because you want to lose weight, but then you see your milk output dropping.
Yes.
It's like, shit, well, now I have to eat more so that I can produce enough milk for my baby, but then it's going to stall my weight loss. It's a whole thing.
Yeah.
So if someone does want to do it, and I don't judge those who do or those who give themselves space, you just have to be really, really, really committed to it.
Right.
And you also need help because you need someone to watch the baby so that you can, have time to work out.
Yeah.
You need to meal plan and cook, and you have to do all of those things while you're trying to take care of your new baby.
Right.
So it's a lot.
It's a struggle. When did Thinspired even come to your mind? Because, speaking from your own experience, how did it come to be
that was all very, very organic. So after I had my daughter, I wanted to lose a baby weight just because I didn't want to buy new clothes, right? I want to go back to work in my same clothes. That was my goal.
Right.
And so it was a different weight loss experience than in the past, where weight gain was always tied to a shame, right? Of I'm lazy or I'm whatever. And this was no, I have a really good reason for having gained the weight. So for some reason, removing that shame kind of freed me.
Ooh, yes.
And I was okay, well, I just have to figure out what's going to work for my body. And so I figured out, a couple things that worked for me. And a lot of what I learned was very counter to what society tells you. One of the big things that we always hear is everything in moderation, everything in moderation. Well, for a lot of us, certain foods have addictive qualities.
Yes.
And so you can't eat them in moderation any more than an alcoholic can have a drink in moderation. It's an unattainable standard.
Right.
And so once I realized that, I was there are certain things that I cannot have in moderation ever. I'm always going to have an abusive relationship with this thing.
Yeah.
So then I have a choice to make. Do I still want to keep it in my life, or do I want to eliminate it completely?
Okay.
And I decided to eliminate certain things completely.
Okay.
Now, there's a school of thought where people say, okay, well, restrictive diets don't work, or they're not good for you psychologically. That's God bless people who feel that way. My experience has been that eliminating certain things has been tremendously freeing, because I'm not trying to have a little bit of something that is always calling me and always beating me. It's just gone.
Yeah.
It's just not there.
Wow.
And so that was the big thing for me. So once I eliminated those things, I pretty much got to, it's like a Mediterranean diet, and it wasn't a plan, but that's what I kind of settled into.
Okay.
So protein, mainly fish, fruits, vegetables, nuts, and seeds, heavy protein.
Okay.
Very little, actually no flour, no white pasta, and nothing white. I call them the white devils.
Okay, yeah.
White bread, white rice, white potato.
Okay.
Pretty much gone. And so that worked. And so I lost the baby weight really quickly. And then I was like, oh, well, maybe I can like try for a little bit more. And so I ended up losing 90 pounds.
My goodness. But how long did it take you?
It took 2 years.
Okay.
So when you did the math, it was half a pound a week.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Did you have a goal in mind that I want to lose 90 pounds by X?
No.
Okay.
No. And if I did, I would never have, I don't think I would have embarked on it. It would have seemed too big and impossible.
Yeah.
So I wanted to lose baby weight. They were all these small increments. You know, that was the first one. I just wanted to get back to my pre-baby weight.
Got it.
And then from there, I was like, oh, well, it would be nice to lose 3 more pounds. And then I was like, oh, well, it would be great to get under 170. And then it's like, oh, it would be nice to get here. And so they were all of these small goals.
Yeah.
And so I don't think I ever had a goal that was bigger than about 3 or 4 pounds.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So then, you know, if it took me a month and a half to get there, you know, it was like, okay, because it was such a small goal.
Right.
So I'm a big proponent of small goals. Like
Yes.
10 pounds is, that's a big goal. Like,
Yeah, it's
chop
true.
it up, you know?
Right. No, that's a really good tip. Did your news producers put added pressure on you?
Yeah, this is a question I get a lot. Actually, no, never. I never got pressure at work to be smaller. And part of the reason that I think that is because they hired me that way. And so I was always kind of like on guard, like waiting for somebody to say something about me because I knew exactly what my response was going to be. Like, look, this is what you bought. Right?
Exactly.
So don't be trying to change it now.
Yeah, no, it's true. And I mean, it's your work ethic and who you are. It's not about the appearance anyways, but yeah.
Right. So no, I'd never got any, and I actually felt very connected to our viewers because like the average woman is a size 14.
Right.
So the TV world, that's not real life, you know, like everybody on TV is like a size 2.
I know.
Like that's not real.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. I don't know how they go through their life just eating salads for lunch all day. I do not want to sign up for that. Okay, yeah. So that's really good to know. So they were very supportive.
I wouldn't say they were supportive. It was just kind of indifferent.
Okay.
You know, like that's who I was, and everybody always accepted it.
Yeah, but then when you did lose that weight, did you feel like a whole new woman, confident?
Yeah, I mean, you definitely get a lot of positive attention when you lose weight. It does take you have to lose a lot of weight before people will notice. So if you are on a weight loss journey, don't get discouraged when you've lost like 15, 20, 25 pounds and people haven't said anything.
Right.
It takes a lot for people to notice. I had lost like 40, 50 pounds before most people noticed.
Okay.
But then it was like a flood. Like when people started to notice, everybody noticed.
Yeah.
And then that's when I was getting a lot of questions from my coworkers. People would email me on Facebook. Just a lot of people were asking me the same things.
Right.
And so that's when I decided to write the book. I was like, well, if people want to know, I want to share it. In a really honest way.
Yeah. So tell us some of those trade secrets. How did you do it?
Yeah. So a lot of what society teaches us about weight loss is bullshit. And it's bullshit based on an industry, right? So there are certain things they can sell you, and there are certain things they can't sell you.
Yeah.
So they can sell you fitness, and they can make a ton of money off fitness. But the reality is that exercise is not very crucial to weight loss.
Is it the 80-20 rule? 80% diet, 20%
Absolutely.
exercise?
And even like personal trainers will tell you that.
Right,
and that's their field.
Yes, yeah, it's true. It's true.
So the idea that, I mean, people will say, well, I can't work out because I just had a baby, or they have some physical limitations, an injury, and they start out from this discouraged place. I can't exercise, so I'm not going to be able to lose weight. And that's not the case. If you clean up your diet, you will see results.
Yes.
Diet is everything.
It's true.
Nutrition is everything.
It's true.
So that was the biggest lesson for me.
Okay.
Because I thought, like everyone else, I'm gonna have to like kill myself in the gym. And the single biggest difference was what I did in the kitchen.
Yes. Okay.
That's it.
So then let's bring it to the kitchen. What were the changes that you made?
So eliminating everything white.
Yeah.
I cut out wine, which as an Italian, like they might revoke my citizenship.
Oh my God.
I will not be allowed back in the country. But wine was my undoing because you can drink so much so fast.
Yes.
And it's like drinking soda or eating butter. Like there's no nutritionally redeeming value in wine, period.
Yeah, it's true. I mean, red's better for your heart health, but
it's not good for your waistline.
No, that's
have a healthy
yes, a
heart.
moment on the lips, yeah, it's true.
It's like you got the sacrifice. So
Yes,
that was a
it's true.
huge sacrifice. It took a lot to get over that. But now I literally have not had a glass of wine in like 4 years.
Okay, wow.
I drank, but
yes,
just not wine.
Not just not wine, okay.
So that was a big
Because that was
thing.
something that had more of an addictive.
Well, it's so easy when you're being social
Yes.
to go through a bottle of wine.
Right.
It's without even thinking. It doesn't even have to be, it can be a Tuesday night.
Yes.
So that was my undoing over. I'm doing all this work, I'm doing everything right, and then I'm blowing it on 1 or 2 nights with friends.
Right.
And I was like, no, something's got to give. I got to give up the wine.
Yeah.
It was painful. It was hard.
Yeah, I'm sure. A glass is about like 300 calories? Or?
I don't even know anymore, but it was killing me.
I feel you. I think it's important that we realize that we often drink our calories, and so the lattes, the whip, and no, you just can't. That's like the first thing that needs to go because it's not satiating either.
Right. Yeah. And when you start to, it all depends where people are coming from, right? I started with such a terrible diet of like processed foods, always eating out, and never exercising.
Right.
That for me, I saw a huge difference in how I felt. That I was like, oh, my body actually needs real food that hasn't been processed, and I feel so different when I'm getting that.
Yes.
And I actually need water. And like I actually need these things. The difference, the quality of my sleep, the quality of everything changed when I changed my diet and started exercising vigorously. Because there's a direct connection between intensity and the benefits of exercise, right?
Yeah.
So I noticed such a huge difference.
Wow.
So if you're someone who has a pretty good diet, maybe you don't notice the difference as dramatically.
Right.
But for me, it was like night and day.
Yeah, no, I just need to sign up and do exactly what you did because I think motherhood has caused me to fall into a slump. I'm better now, but I had twins and then I had another baby after that. All within 2 years.
Wow.
So yeah, it was
That's
just
a lot.
Fast track. Yeah, so like not only did my body take a beating, I didn't have the time nor the energy to work out and think about me. And so like oftentimes, you know how you have so many different doctor's appointments?
Right.
So like, what was the easiest thing to do after a doctor's appointment? Go to a McDonald's drive-thru and eat while I drive.
Yeah.
And it's awful.
Yeah.
But it was like a monthly thing.
But it's not awful. See, this is what I want everybody to be really loving to themselves because you were doing what worked for you in a high stress circumstance, right? So what I think we all have to honor is that the food is giving us something really important. In that moment, it was giving you energy because you're like those sugary, salty, fatty foods give you bursts of energy.
Yes, yeah.
And it was saving you time,
right?
Because you
I didn't have to get them out of the car.
Do.
Yeah.
So it was really serving a very important need for you.
Yeah.
So then I think the question we all have to ask ourselves is, okay, how can I get that need met in a different way?
So now, do you find yourself carrying the foods that are just healthier for you around with you and meal prepping more?
I take food everywhere, yeah.
Okay.
Because food is the single most important component.
Yeah.
And I'm no different than anyone else. If I get hungry and I have no time and I'm going to grab something, I'm going to make a
wrong choice. Maybe. Yeah, exactly.
I mean, I always compare, like, if you're trying to decide what to eat at the moment you're hungry, that's hand-to-hand combat.
Yes.
Right? Yes. I don't want to be in hand-to-hand combat. I would rather have a good security gate where the intruder's not coming into my house. Right?
Wow.
I don't want to be fighting them.
Right.
So I try to avoid that situation.
Okay. Oh, that's really good advice. What do you do for your meal prepping?
So it really depends on what's happening in my life. So right now we're preparing to move. We're moving on Monday.
Oh, okay.
We're wrapping up a 2-year renovation.
Oh my goodness. Okay.
So we're moving
That's exciting.
to our house. It's very exciting, but I know
I don't have the bandwidth for meal prep this week. And so my fridge is full of those, even for my kids.
Okay, yep.
So theirs look different. Like I got them like a chicken parm and a pasta and like, but everything in my fridge right now is already pre-cooked because I know I don't have the space to do that this week.
Right,
But I still want to make sure I have food. So it's always that calculation, you know?
Okay. Now let's talk about your workouts. You just came from SoulCycle this morning, which is so impressive. What are some of the workouts that you do?
So, like I said, I never worked out prior to having my daughter. And I found a workout that I loved, which was SoulCycle.
I just kind of, I heard that one of my colleagues was doing it, and so I asked her about it, and then she connected me with the PR lady, and then she was like, yeah, come to some classes. And I loved it. And it was the first time that I really, really enjoyed exercise. Like, exercise for me was always a punishment.
Yeah,
it was like a chore. Like it was like dragging a bag of rocks uphill. You know, I was like, oh, I have to go to this thing. And this was the first time that it was really, really fun. And then I started to make friends with the instructors, with other people in class, and then it was even more fun because now I had a peer group that I was looking forward to seeing and, you know, connecting with. And so that was my gateway drug. Because once I understood that that was possible, you know, a lot of things you can't conceive until you see them. Once I understood that, like, oh, I can love this. It can feel really, really good. And I can meet people, and it can be social.
When you were a new mom, did you work out with the baby?
No. I do not believe in working out with your kids. No, I see that happen. I see people running with the strollers and all that. That is like, if that's great for them, great. Or maybe it's out of necessity. Right. Like, I get that too. I do not want to work out with my children. My workout, those my time.
Yes. No. I believe the same thing. If you can, you know, have the childcare, do that, and then take that 1 hour class uninterrupted.
It's just because it's for me, it's mental more than anything. That's why I keep going back. You know, it's like I sweat that shit out, and then life is so much clearer and better after.
Absolutely. So tell us a little bit about, you know, your son and your daughter and what it's like being this family of four.
They're so different. And, you know, there's this great saying, we don't create our children, we meet them. And I really believe that. I also don't believe that they belong to me. They belong to the universe, and they are in my care. But, you know, they are sovereign, independent little creatures. And I get... It's so enriching, and it's like everything to me to watch them grow and meet them and get to know them because they're so different and they're so fun. So it's great. My daughter is so persistent. She could teach a class in persuasion. I mean, so relentless. Where you're like, I'm not yielding. And then after like 15 minutes, you're like, fine.
Tell us an example of something she was that passionate about teaching.
iPad time.
She's like negotiating, and it's like,
but it's relentless. It's like, you know, you're like 2 more minutes, 10 more minutes, 2 more. And it's just, you know, candy. Those kind of kid things.
Of course. But then to be able to master that negotiating sense at age 7.
Every single time. Because she's really good at it. And I'm like, this is a lesson in persistence. Because she's heard no now. 50 titimes from her mom, like the authority figure in her life. And she is unfazed.
Oh my goodness.
So I'm like, okay, I could use a little more of that in my life. Because she's just going to keep going until she gets a yes. And then my son is the exact opposite. He's the most chill, laid back, like, easy breezy, whatever we're doing, he's like, okay, this is what we're doing, cool. He's just very mellow. So they complement each other perfectly, and they get along so well.
Oh, that's so nice.
It's so nice. They're like BFF.
And I mean, we were just chatting about how, you know, our kids kind of humble us. So tell us about that. They catch you off guard sometimes.
You know, they're not impressed with what I do at all. My daughter was showing a friend around our apartment, and I had my Emmys on the mantle, the fireplace mantle, and she says to the visitor, and these are mommy's soccer trophies. And I was like, oh my God, is that what she thinks they are? So now my husband and I have this inside joke where it's like, you know, I'm very good at soccer. Because I have all these trophies. You know, kids are not impressed. And there's something really nice about that.
They
don't care.
It's so true.
You know, like Michael Strahan is a very close friend. Like we'll be at his house, and like my daughter will be playing with him, and like she does not care.
Who he is. Exactly. She's
She doesn't. She just like, can I sit in the purple chair? The purple chair is pretty. Like that's all. Like that's all she cares about.
Oh my God, that's so funny. That's really great. And I think it's something that we can definitely learn from. Take a cue from.
Yes, absolutely. There's so much to learn from kids. So much to learn from kids. Their imagination, everything is play. Everything is play. How often do we play?
I know.
They turn everything into play.
It's true.
And so now I try, like there are certain things that I consider play, like doing my makeup. So when I do that, I actually try to engage in that as play. Like that's fun for me. So I like try to steal those moments of play.
Oh, that's so nice.
They play constantly.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, that's something that we can definitely learn from. How has motherhood and your children changed you as a person?
Oh, too many ways to. I remember asking this question of someone before I had kids.
Yeah.
And she was like, "That's a hard one." It was Jill Scott.
Okay.
Who I adore.
Yes.
And she was like, "That's a hard one." She was like, "I'm gonna have to get back to you on that." You know, it's funny because there's this perception that motherhood softens you. Mm-hmm. It has softened me towards them.
Right.
But it has made me like, I'm a fucking animal when it comes to protecting my family.
Yes.
Like, I will fight a bear with my bare hands and not be afraid to.
There you go. Yes.
So it has toughened me like nobody's business. And with money too, because that's a resource for my family.
Right.
So I was never motivated by money before.
Yeah.
And now it's like, no, fuck you, pay me. Because my kids you got to put food on their plate.
Exactly.
So that was surprising how like ruthless it made me.
I like that.
In service of them.
Right.
But that's that mama thing, you know?
Yeah.
Like, don't mess with my family.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. It's something so innate in all of us.
Right.
What is kind of the legacy you'd like to leave behind for them?
Ooh, you know, I just want them to feel loved and valued.
Yeah.
Like, that's so important to me, that they just feel loved and valued. And that starts with me. Like, I want to be an example of the purest love. And I want to always be showing them their value.
Right.
So that's kind of their baseline for relationships. So when they are not valued and not loved, they can walk away from those relationships.
Wow.
And because that's what I think we all want for ourselves, is the ability to see a circumstance and say, this is not on my level, and I'm not accepting it.
Exactly. So tell us about like a mom sense moment that you had.
Oh, I have to think about that a little bit. What I've gotten very good at is the ability to see that a disaster is about to happen.
Okay.
Like, and that took some years of honing.
Yeah.
But like when they're about to fall flat on their face, and you like reach out and grab them by the collar, and you like and people are like, "Wow, good catch, Mom."
Right.
It's like, "Oh no."
Yeah.
So that kind of thing, like predicting disaster, or like when they're like about to spill the glass.
Right. And you catch it right. Oh, yeah.
You know, so and that's just because you've seen the glass fall 50 times.
Exactly, but that reflex is there, you know?
Yeah.
It's now time for Mom Haul, when we share products we love.
Do you have any mom haul items? So mom haul meaning like any product that you're loving right now that could be beauty or parenting related, anything.
So it doesn't have to be baby related.
No,
so I love, it's summer, so I'm really big into like body shimmer. I did not bring mine today, so my legs are like all dry, but like I like them to be shiny and shimmery. So there's a Too Faced Royal Oil, which I live by in the summer. Nothing will make your skin look better. It does transfer though, which is annoying. So you sit on somebody's white couch, they're not going to be happy with you. Like I wouldn't sit there.
Right. Okay.
I would sit here.
Yeah. And then it would get on your like dress
too. It will get on your clothes if you get it too close. So it's not a perfect product, but boy, do you look great. So like if you're at the beach, or pool,
right? Yes,
it's perfect.
Ooh,
My
nice.
arms, I put it everywhere. I like bathing.
Oh wow, I'm gonna remember that Royal Oil, and we'll link to it.
Let's not forget our quote of the day.
Okay, and lastly, a quote that you live by.
Ooh, I have a couple. One that's big for me is I can handle it. So like not being afraid of something being too hard or too challenging, or whatever it is, I can handle it. Just like confidence in your own strength,
right?
Even in the face of the unknown. If you stay ready, you ain't got to get ready. So I try to stay prepared. Okay. And that's in a practical way. Like always have a bomb-ass dress, like in case you get a last-minute invite to something fabulous, you know? Like have a plan for those things. Or like a great bathing suit, you know?
Yeah, you just never know.
Stay ready.
I mean, you're staying ready with the meals too. It's like, you don't know, you're going around the city, you don't know when you're gonna get hungry, and you have your Fresh Directed in your bag.
Yeah, stay prepared. Just stay prepared. So I would go with those two.
Okay, cool. And how can our listeners and viewers find you and your book? And
so Instagram is the easiest way. I'm not really active on any other social media. So it's at Mara Scampo, at Mara S. Campo.
Okay. Thank you so much, Mara. You're the best. Thank you.
I hope you enjoyed my interview with Mara. She's so down to earth and keeps it real, which is something I find to be really refreshing. I know I feel thin-spired to eat clean and start doing workouts that are fun for me. I enjoy high-intensity interval training and dance classes. What do you enjoy? Is it walking, running, spin? Whatever that may be, work it into your schedule 2 to 3 times a week. It'll make a drastic difference in your energy levels and mood. And it'll make you a better mom because we need to fill ourselves up before we give to everybody else. If you're enjoying That's Total Mom Sense, leave me a review on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Stitcher, Spotify, or wherever you listen. Write to me at thatstotalmomsense@gmail.com and send me your questions. I'll be sure to answer them in a future episode. And remember, always trust your mom sense. Stay strong, Supermamas.
That's Total Mom Sense.